Alright, so I'm creating a studio here today, and this is the room that I'm starting with. This is here in Lompoc, California. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and bring in a sheet onto the ceiling for sound deflection. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use a ruler. I wish I had a tape measure, that's what I would use otherwise, to find the center of the room so I can bring this sheet in centered. And I'll do the same thing with the other axis, but I'm going to go ahead and mark the walls with a pencil, and we'll go from there. So I've gone ahead and marked the center of the room as such, and I'll use that also in the placement of the soundproofing. Alright, so I've got this sheet up now, and like I said before, the function of the sheet is for sound deflection. The ceiling is actually already pretty good. When you get this kind of ceiling, is built, I believe this apartment was built in the 60s. That's actually pretty good for sound diffusion. But basically you might notice that this sheet is under some tension, but it's also got kind of some waves in it there, but that I've placed it symmetrically in the room. And that's one of the reasons that I chose this room as well when I got this apartment to create this studio. So we're going to go ahead and continue with the acoustic foam, but first we're going to go ahead and put corner absorbers in. Alright, so you can see I've got some corner absorbers installed here. I haven't actually used any staples to do such, which is kind of nice. Trying to be kind of careful with this this acoustic foam as well because it's kind of old. So the purpose of that is, of course, to diffuse the sound. It kind of gets trapped in the corners, bounces it back and forth. And so we'll continue from here and do the other corners as much as I can. There's a door right there, presents a little bit of a challenge, and then we'll continue with the rest of the foam. So I've gone ahead and started with the acoustic foam on the walls, and I often start with little problem areas like that, and I've decided to put these spikier ones directly opposing the speakers, and we'll continue from here. I'm gonna probably get some of these tougher spots, like up here is a little bit thicker than the width of one of these pieces of acoustic foam. Alright, but we're making good progress. Alright, so I'm finished and it sounds absolutely magnificent in here. At least as I like it, very dead. So that's one way you can kind of set up a home studio if you've got some foam and a somewhat symmetrical room and a large sheet. Alright, so now that we have everything set up in terms of acoustic isolation, we're going to go ahead and put our focus on the stereo system itself and the speakers in particular. And I'm going to define a sweet spot in the room and go ahead and use a protractor and string to set up that sweet spot. So this is one of the methods that I've used, using a protractor here and string. If you don't have anything better, that's the best way to do it. You'll hear a lot of people telling you to eyeball it or whatever, and you could do that, but you should also use your ears and, in my opinion, a protractor. And this is the finished result.